I got into youth work, but I didn't know I was going to do youth work. A young kid come up to me and he just kicked a ball. I kicked it back to him when I was leaving university, and he kicked it back to me, and I kicked it back to him, and I thought to myself, mate, I want to go home. Just kept kicking the ball to me. I said, I don't know, you don't want to play with you, come on man, I want to go home, it's 9 o'clock, what are you doing outside anyway, where's your mum? You know, that kind of thing there, and he was just kicking it back to me, and I kicked it back to him, and he was talking to me about his life, and he was like, yeah, I'm a YG, you know, some of these little kids now, like, I'm a YG, I'm a younger, I'm a YG, and I'm like, what, YG, what are you talking about? And when I started breaking it down to him, I said, why are you talking like this? You seem like you want to do football, you seem like you've got great aspirations, you remind me of me when I was younger, you know, follow your football. I remember when I used to play for Arsenal, and I said to him, I started smoking, and I got involved in the wrong crowd, and I got kicked out of Arsenal, and he looked at me like, wow, you used to play for Arsenal? I was like, yeah, look at you, you're like 12 years old, you could be much more than where I am now. And the guy looked at me, and he didn't even say nothing, just looked at me and just walked away, and he just said, thank you. That's it, not inspired me, no nothing like that, just thank you. That's all he said. And I said to myself, you know what? I know what I need to be doing. I need to go and help these kids.
I can honestly say, where I am in my life, I still have trials and tribulations, well, trials like we all do, but I can honestly say I'm more me than I ever have been. I'm now that spiritual teacher, empowerment teacher for women. I'm an author, and I'm now a public speaker as well. But it hasn't always been like this. I've had to work hard, and I mean really work hard. And one of the things that I've learned in life is that anything that you want, and I mean really want, anything that you're really passionate about is going to be hard. Don't think it's going to be easy, because it's not. When you want something, and you're gonna change, and when you want to become the woman or man that you know in your heart you were born to be, it's going to be hard. You know, if it doesn't challenge you, it is not going to change you.
Once I reached year 7, I started getting active in certain things. Only 11, 12 years old, so it wasn't like too serious. You're doing little things, petty things, just trying to keep up with others, really. Going to school, going to see friends. If I go to a friend's house, they got that Snickers in the cupboard, Kiora, Capri Sun, all that. I'm ashamed for a man to come to my house because I'm offering them tap water certain times, so I ain't got it. So I want to keep up now. I want to keep up. Man's in school talking about Keenan and Kel. I don't know what the programs are. I've got channel 1 to 4, and that's that simple. So you start going for it, you want to do it. Throughout my whole educational years, well, the academic age, I should say, we were on rock, we were doing stuff. I was still in school learning. Year 10, I probably didn't really turn up that much as I should have, and year 11 was just as bad. But I still grabbed GCSEs. Done what he's doing, phone robberies, whatever, then eventually I just got heavy into drug dealing. And that's what I was for the rest of my teenage years, basically. Unfortunately, I was good at it. But at the same time, from the day I started, the person who dropped me my first thing actually said to me, never live for it. Never make this you, innit? Make the money, don't make it make you. So always plan for a way out. So luckily, from the day I started, I always knew I was worth more than road. So it was just for me to find that why and that how to leave it.
Once I finished my 2 lists, I put my passion and what I wanted out of life, and I came up with a company called Diamond Life Coaching. That was the first title of my business. And I went with that. And I didn't worry about the how. How I was going to do it wasn't even important. It was the why. I wanted to live in my purpose, and I knew my purpose was to inspire and motivate others. So I investigated on how I could become a coach, because I already had some qualification. I'm a qualified clinical hypnotherapist and an NLP practitioner. But I was really, thank you. But I really wanted to learn how to give people the tools to go off and be your own amazing person. Right? And that's what coaching is. It's giving you the tools to then go off and live the type of life that you desire. So I found this course at university. Keeping in mind, I went to 7 different schools and failed university twice, by the way. There are some words that I cannot pronounce properly. There are some words that I cannot spell. And when I count, I still have to count on my fingers. But I wasn't going to allow those things to stop me from being the person that I wanted to be. If I did, I wouldn't be standing here speaking in front of you. If I did, I wouldn't be my author of my first book. If I did, I wouldn't have put out my first CD. So you can't allow your current situation to dictate your future.
From 2003 when we started there, started training them, around 2006, we went to a race before that, and nobody believed in them. It was like, who are these kids from Peckham and Brixton coming into cycling? And it was like, I sat there and I just, they were getting frustrated, because like young people who were out there, and they were losing races, arguing with each other at the races. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of the white people was like, whoa, these guys are from Peckham, But I said to them, guys, just keep quiet, just do what I'm telling you to do, and you'll see what will happen. I said, let your rider do the talking. So I trained them, again in the snow, then I got a weightlifting coach, then we've got a nutritionist, got a psychologist, and then these kids started to believe in themselves. They really thought, you know what, we're starting to win. Somebody rang me up and said, I don't know if you know what's going on, because I was always DJing, so I used to send them with the parents to the races. And they said, these kids are starting to win everything now. So I said, okay. And this was like the little races. So then we went on to the regional championship with these young people, and they started to win that as well. So everybody goes, wow, these kids are doing really well. So I said, okay, let me give them a little boost. So I spoke to a few people. We bought them all new kit, new helmets, new gloves, everything, done their bikes up, really pushed hard on these young people. By that time we had about 25 of us, so like the Peckham Massive was just huge. Went to the national championship in Bournemouth, Birmingham, Manchester, 2008. They were reading out the points, and someone came over to me and said, CK, you've won the national championship. I was like, wow, crazy.
I worked with young people for about 3.5 years in different organisations, even the charity Crime Stoppers. I know, man, the man's like, right, you work for the Stitching Line, fam. What, the 0800 fam? Don't lie. Swear down, guys. Yeah, I did. And that was another turning point for me as well. I got called a snitch. I got called some guy was fake. But I saw it as I want to help these young people. And I ain't gonna sit here and go and stand here and say I wasn't amount to that problem. I wasn't the older that the young kids. I used to say to them, hey, go and do your thing, bro. If anybody troubles you, you just handle your business. So I felt like I played a part. So I felt like I needed to be the one to change it. So I decided to change it. Working with all these organisations, it wasn't going too well for me in the sense of they weren't doing enough. They like to just tick boxes. Sorry to say, but a lot of these big time organisations, they don't care about nothing about our young people, It's all about tick boxes. How many did you speak to, Chris? I spoke to 100 kids, great, let's tick that off. It's not about how much people did you engage with. If that boy Joshua engaged with you, can you go back and do a little mentoring session? What else can you do for him? It was like, yeah, do a talk, see you later. So I decided to start my own company. I made a company called Make Dreams a Reality. When I started my own company, people told me not to do it, because I didn't know how to start my own company. I've got dyslexia and I don't know how to run anything. But I decided, I said, no, I want to do my own company. I found out about it, I'm not going to lie. Went onto company's house, they said you can start a company with £16. So I typed in my company name, it was there. I pressed yes, and I had a company. I said, say that. Why do people say it's so hard? Why do we say it's so hard? I went on the computer, I typed my name in, and that was it. I pressed yes. The information came through my house. I said, oh my days, I got a company. I'm a businessman. Even though I didn't know what the business was, do you know what I mean? And then they said to me I have to go and get a business, sort of like business card and everything. So I went down to Barclays, signed up with them. They gave me a business card. I was walking around thinking, I've made it. That day there was 100 bags on the card. I'm thinking, yeah, I've made it. I made it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't get any work for 6 months. Let's talk about it. I have to go sign back on. It was hard times. I was thinking to myself, I don't know what I was meant to be doing. Do you know what I mean? I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to market myself. I didn't know what I was doing, but I believed in my passion of what I was doing. So I continued to sign on for 6 months. I said, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to continue to do this because I know I want to fight for my dream. Because my quote is always, you can go back to a 9 to 5, but you can't go back to your dream.
I suppose they'd had enough of me. I was on the streets for a short while. And I can't explain to those of you who have never been in that position what that feels like, what that does to your self-esteem, what it does, and how much you just want to hold on to one last bit of pride. And I remember when I finally had the pride, because I was starving, I needed shelter, and when I had the courage to actually go and find this hostel that I got told about, I hitchhiked to it, if I remember. And I remember when I got in there was just me and my black sack, and I remember I got in there, and as soon as he asked me my name, and so talk to me, that's what he said, so talk to me. And as soon as he said that, I just burst out crying. And I just said, I haven't got anyone, I haven't got anywhere. And I remember that feeling as well, because my dad wasn't taking me in because his wife didn't want me, and I don't really think he did either. My mum, obviously, she was with someone else, and she didn't want me there either. And I didn't really have any friends around, them so-called friends that weren't really my friends, they weren't there either. So anyway, that first night that I was there, I remember crying all night. I remember just being, but I was okay. I was in this little room and I felt okay. But I remember crying all night, but I remember that knowing inside of me that I am going to be someone. I am going to have that family that loves me. I'm going to make something of myself. And even though my mind would try and convince me otherwise, it was that deep inner knowing. And I know that you probably all heard the mindset and positive thinking, and I've tried that. I've tried that over and over again, but unless there's this deeper knowing inside of you that pushes you, or this deeper something, which I believe comes from God or the universe or the divine, whatever you call it, that it doesn't matter how many times you're going to tell yourself something, it's not going to work. It didn't work for me. There's got to be this deeper something that spurs you on.
All the top butchers in the area, top delicatessens, started calling them, but again, you can see how I speak right now. If I'm calling them big posh brands, certain them will hang the phone up on me straight away. So I made my missus call them. Nice, pretty, sweet voice. Hi, got them in there. They will love it. They're cool. That's when they want to talk. Then I pull up. And when I pull up the big black youth, it's like raw. But the products do the talking. So we went in there, let them taste it, started jumping on their shelves. We sold out every barbecue sauce and jerk sauce they had on them shelves, easily, because it was better. Simple as that. Done certain tactics, we done certain things that I always bring that kind of raw mentality into the business. But when I say raw mentality, I don't mean the negative side, I mean that go-getter spirit, that we have no other option. Yeah, it's either failure, I say it's failure or death. We ain't got no daddy to fall back on, or we ain't got nothing that just protects us. We have to make it happen. So I bring that through. I remember one time there was a shop here in Mayfair called Allen's and Mayfair's, big butchers. I was like, right, I want to get in there. Been wanting to get in there, couldn't find no contact. Twitter, LinkedIn, nowhere. Rolling, one day driving through the back of Tooting, Blakenham Road. Same bit, yeah, you know that. Drove through the back of Blakenham Road and I saw this big Allen's and Mayfair Valley in Tooting. I was like, right, what are you doing there? But as I say, you've got to be instinctual, you've got to go straight away. So I drove up to this van and just slapped my car in front of it sideways, blocked off the whole road. He's thinking he's about to lose all his meat, it's a robbery, he's finished. You know what I mean? And I wanted him to think that, because I want him to be so scared and so, what's happening now? That anything I say to him, he's going to be on my side. You know what I mean? So when I got out of the car, jumped out to him, I rolled in my sauces, no matter where I was, there'll be sauces in the boot. Jumped out, looped over, all big, slow, he's thinking, what's going on? And as soon as he went out the window, me, oh, how you doing, mate? Well, your boss is expecting these, I'll see you later. I just left him. He was just happy, that's all that happened. He drove up, I got onto Twitter, I tweeted their main account, and they said, oh, it was you, because I know he's going to go back and say it now, because he's going to have a story to tell. So I purposely wanted that. Before I know it, he was in there, selling on their shelves, and we killed it again.
So I found this office, and guys, it was an absolute mess. But I loved it, because I had the vision. And I walked in and it was absolute dump. It was filthy. But I was so proud, right? I was so proud that this could be my space. And it was so cheap because it was so dirty and in such a bad shape, right? And I cleaned, and I cleaned, and I cleaned. And I went down to B&Q and I got paint. And as I was painting the walls, I started crying. Because when no one believed in me, I believed in myself. So I started painting the walls, and I went to good old iCare, and I put everything on the credit card. But my office was beautiful. And then I hustled and I bustled, and because I'm a registered coach, I was able to then advertise on Life Coach Directory, which is like this big directory for coaches. And I got my face up there, my profile, so I got more clients coming through. But it still wasn't enough for me. You see, when we talk about comfort zones, you have to understand that you're always in your comfort zone. Today you might try something new, but once you've tried it, it's no longer something new. You're now in a new comfort zone. So I wanted to keep pushing myself forward. And I still had this vision and this dream about my office in Mayfair. I just wasn't letting it go. And throughout this time, I was charging £60 an hour, right? I went down to Mayfair. But before I did that, I surfed the internet. And I saw this office. And I said, this is the office I'm going to be in. I did that months before I found the office in Croydon. And I said to myself, I'm ready now. Not because of money, because I was ready mentally. That lecturer told me that before you can have an office in Mayfair, you have to have a PhD, you have to have a long client list, you have to know someone to be connected with. I was also told that I will never be able to work in prisons because of my background. And what on earth would I talk to universities about? I failed university twice. That was 17 months ago. And now I can stand here and tell you that I have an office in Mayfair. I have contracts with HMP. So I go in, not only do I coach the inmates, but I coach the prison officers too. I now speak at universities. And I didn't rely on anyone to help me. Many people say, how do you deal with the obstacles? I say, what obstacles? Honey, if I see an obstacle, I take my 6-inch heels and I step on it and say, thank you very much for the help.
When you're thinking out the box. Now, obviously, go back to the track. They didn't want to give me the track, and I kept on going with the young people. Then we got the movie on MTV. Then the boys got world champions. And recently, I'll tell you what happened. Some of you might know about it. And it's sad to say, 2014, one of my main boys, which is on the Olympic team, he lives there with 3 other riders. Yep. I've got 2 of them on it, but he's one of the main ones. The World Championship came up, he was meant to go. He lives there with the 2 other riders. Listen to this, and this is why I need to make you know, because some of you might not know the story, and it is hurting sometimes. They took the other 2 riders, and the man, who was from Australia, a little bit prejudiced, left him behind. Yeah? Really bad. So I said to him, you know what, ask them if you can go on your own. So he said, yes. Now, I worked psychology on him, and I said to him, you know what, I'll meet you there. I could have gave him £200, because I told him, we always have to overachieve and overperform past these people because they won't let you in. Yes. Yeah? What happened? He got on the plane, and before he got there, he said, oh, I've only got 150, I might need a bit more. So he went to the betting shop, put on a bet, and won some money. And then got the plane flight. Then he said, oh, I wonder if I could get a bit more money. Then he won again, twice. Got on the plane, went to the World Championship, turned up. The other 2 boys have flown over with the masseuse and the massage and the mechanic and the coach. He's there. The coach ain't paying no attention to him. At the World Championship, he's with me, my other colleague, had a nice word with him, he felt really comfortable back at home. World Championship ran, this was in Holland. The other 2 got knocked out. he became world number 3.
I believed in myself. I quit my job. And I went and started my company. Like I said, I didn't earn no money. 6 months later, I got 1 job. Then I got 2 jobs. Then I got 3 jobs. Then I got 4 jobs. I started creating myself. I said to myself, this is amazing. Imagine I get up every day doing something that I love doing. And I can say that I'm helping someone. I was fortunate enough, literally 3 years ago, when I was doing my company, I got a letter through the post and I thought I was going to prison, guys. Don't judge me, like I said. I've come from a block council estate. We don't get letters like this. It had a big stamp with Her Majesty's stamp on it, and it said, we are giving Her Majesty your name in strict confidence, underline. Let's hold on a second there. Why does the Queen want to know my name for? Why, everybody in the UK, you want to know me? I don't want to know you. I don't want to know you. I see you enough on the £5 notes, Lizzie. I don't want to know you, Lizzie. Yeah, you know what we call her, Lizzie. We don't call her Elizabeth, we call her Lizzie. You know, and when I saw the next line said, we are appointing you of the officer of the British Empire. So like Kat said, I'm dyslexic as well, so automatically I just heard officer and empire. I said, that's Illuminati, I'm going to prison. You know, automatically I thought, that's it, they've got me. And mind you, I ain't got no criminal record, I ain't done nothing, but I swear I would have admitted on whatever it was. I would have been like, I done it. It was me, I'm sorry, Mum, pack me a sandwich, I'm going to prison. I don't know what happened, let's sort it out. When the conflict, literally, I was so scared, and I said to myself, what's going on? And I called up my friend, and my friend laughed at me and said, Chris, you're an idiot. You know, just literally type it into Google, and you will find out what it is. I tapped into Google, the first person that came up was David Beckham, 1.something billion. Now, I don't know about you guys, you get me? Like I said, I come from a block council estate, single parent, you know the ones there, we had to put sugar and bread, you know them days there? You know them foods there? So when I heard OB, I said, say nothing, well, you wanna give me one of those? I'm taking that, yes. So I went to Buckingham Palace 3 years ago. I was the youngest black male to receive an OBE from a man. Youngest. I was 25 when I received my OBE, 25. Amazing. Even when I went there, everybody was old. I wasn't judging them, but everybody was old. And the guy come up to me, he's like, what are you getting? I said, an OBE. He goes, I waited my whole life to get mine.
In psychology, we call it cognitions, right? Cognitions are your thoughts and your belief system. Thinking doesn't only affect how you feel, it dictates your future. There's a famous saying that goes, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both right. How powerful is that? You see, only you have the power to dictate what type of future you live. So you just have to decide. Decide on that one thing you want to do and dedicate yourself to it.
The other thing we wanted to do now was to build the brand awareness and make it happen, get out there, let everyone see who we are, jump into areas that we're not used to. But what I always noticed is, we will do certain things, what should really scare the hell out of us. We'll roll with 5 years like nothing. We'll do this, do that, we'll jump into wars, jump out of wars. But for us to put on the suit and walk into a boardroom, we're too scared. We're shook, we won't do it. We won't go into certain environments where there's no risk at all. Only thing we're gonna get, the worst we can get is a no. But we're too scared to do that. So I purposely hit that world. I've always wanted to hit that world. So I'm in the top butchers, then I said I'm gonna either go to Selfridges or Harrods, and then we're gonna go to supermarkets because I'm young and I'm black and all they're gonna do is question me. So if I've got that CV behind me, question that, don't even bother me. Learn your market, get out there, whatever your field is, get out there, see why you're different and be the best at it. Don't take no prisoners because they ain't gonna give you no mercy. And that's what I was saying that way. As I say, I always say it, what kind of soldier comes back with shiny armor? If you're coming back from war with shiny armor, you ain't got stuck in, you ain't done nothing. You're going to get battered and bruised and it's gonna be hard. But you see at the end, when you're sitting down, and you know after you go gym and you feel that pain and you feel good still, even though it's hurting, that's what you will get. Because that's when you're gonna win. And it won't be overnight. I'm guilty of it. I got into business thinking, yeah, give me 2 years, I'll be a millionaire. 4 years down the line, I'm still broke. Yeah? And that's the truth of the matter. It ain't gonna be easy, but it will be worth it. even if I take money out of the equation, how much times I get stopped by people saying, right, you know what? Because I saw you do your thing, I started my business now. I've done my job then, you know? Everything else is a bonus. I've done my job if we're rising up and we're going forward. You know what I mean? And that's the truth of the matter.
I don't think there is anything as fearless. I believe in courage. And I believe that they go together. And I believe that you can't be you can only feel courageous when there is fear. You can only feel like, yes, I did it, when there is fear. And what I now do is I look at fear as almost like a spirit. I do, it's just how I see it, is that I've accepted and embraced that fear will always be a part of my life, always, in everything I do. But I see it as almost like this spirit standing there that is trying to push me forward or spur me forward into who I need to be. And then when I get there, it's literally like fear is sitting back saying, see, I told you could do it. And then it's waiting for the next time. So it's just a way that I like to look at a different way I like to look at fear, because I don't want anyone in here to ever believe that where you come from or them things going through your mind is going to stop you from being who you want to be, whatever that is. And I don't want anyone in here to believe that because fear is there and them thoughts are there, that you're never going to get there. Because even with speaking, every time I speak, every time I do a workshop, every time I do something that means a lot to me, fear is always there. Them thoughts are always there, but it's learning to quieten them. It's learning to accept them and say, do you know what? I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to push forward. I'm still going to be me. And that's what gets me there. That's what gets you there.
Have you guys enjoyed today?
Yeah!
Have you had a good time?
Yeah!
Have you learned something?
Yes!
No. Has everybody learned just one thing?
Yes!
Wonderful. I just want to say to everybody that's come out today, some of you have left and got other commitments. I understand that. We kind of run over time, but that wasn't our fault. But I just want to say to every single person that's here today, like every single person, to take a 10-minute segment of my radio show to turn it into this, it's amazing. It's amazing. So thank you. I want to thank everybody for coming out. A few quick thank yous. The guys at the back with the stools and all that, thank you very much for your time. You're right there. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Imo, thank you. And there's two people that trust me when I say this wouldn't happen if it wasn't for them. Because anybody who knows me properly knows I'm not disorganized. They just know. Like, it just... Mrs. Milktray will tell you. Innit, babe? That's right. Leash and D. Warner, man. Okay, can you give guys just give them a round of applause? Right? They won't come up to the front. But you can follow Warner on Instagram. See where D. Warner. Hashtag Warner's waves. Warner's waistcoats. Anytime you see a man with waves, just know it's Warner that he's talking to. You don't like that, cuz? We will be doing the next one here back at Croydon Park Hotel in October. Okay? The venue is so happy with us, they want us to come back and do it again. So I hope you like the new venue as well compared to the last one. I know it's a little bigger, we've got shiny lights up on the ceiling and all these things. So we're going to keep it here for next month and then we'll see where. But to everybody that's come out today, thank you. Alright, so thank you very much. Good night, God bless, get home safely. Thank you for coming out to Milktray Motivation Live. I'm out. Hey!